What is up, Work here. In this video I'm going to go over my latest Mythic Terros kill, which is like a pure single target, like BM specialty boss, pretty fun, and just kind of the things contributing to this parse. So we've got the heroic CCT and a 415 Algothar box, and of course the 418 bow pre-nerf. We have a lot of crit that you'll see here. There's a reason for that. We have 21 haste, and we have very close to 50 mastery. These are very close to ideal stats here. One of the things that's contributing to damage here is that we're using our potion Cauldron of Ultimate Power. This is going to give me the Omega potion here. You'll see it has way more primary stat than the normal one, so that helps a bit. And then on top of that, the reason I have so much crit in this case is because I'm using the Phial of Corrupting Rage, I believe. It just gives you a lot of crit. So I'm able to gem into Mastery and Haste and get my crit from that Phial. It does do damage to you, so it's a little sketchy. Looking at the parse here, this fight went really well for me. We did a lot of these. They didn't all go this well, just kind of luckily on the one that we did the kill. I was able to keep up Frenzy the whole time and just do well overall. However, a big portion of this damage comes from the fact that our priest here PI'd me what looks like 4 times. So on pull at 0, then again around 2 minutes, around 4 minutes something, and then at the end. So that's a lot of PI. So if you look at how that affected the damage, the burst in the beginning is way higher than at 2 minutes. There's a little bump. That's a PI. A little bit past 4 minutes, another PI, and at the end, another PI. And then I also was able to use Algothar box 3 times pretty much. I think the cooldowns kind of line up. So this is getting into the actual pull here. It didn't take that many this night, actually. We got to do some Senarth after this, so pretty good. I am sending Algothar box, and if you look at my haste on the left, that is PI, Lust, and Dire Beast. Plus my haste is 106 haste. So as BM, and you can see it on the damage charts, you can't push your buttons fast enough. It's pretty wild. It took me a while to get used to getting PI'd on top of Lust with BM. You just hit kill command and Barb Shot as fast as you can, and especially with the bow resets, you don't really hit too many Cobra shots in this window. You're just fully sending it. It's hilarious. It doesn't really show you my weak aura, but I'm just hitting kill command 8 times in a row. It's pretty funny. And that's how that damage comes out like that. So I've been tracking haste that you can see there now. I did have it so that, or I thought I had it so that it would show me if we were, losting or PIing. It's not tracked there, but basically I'm tracking this now because Dire Beast, the single target talent, you pretty much only take this for single talent. You can just get that haste buff, the Dire Beast buff that you see there, by hitting kill command. It just happens sometimes. And so my tiny min-max that I do now, pretty much for Terros and for Sen, the single target fights, is to just make sure not to override it if I can. Now in the Lust opener, I'm just hitting buttons. There's not a lot of thinking. But as things slow down here, I can kind of track that okay, I have 27 haste. That means that I have, Dire Beast or Dire Command, whatever one it is up. I have my haste buff. And so if I also have a Dire Beast command ready, I'm going to hold it until that's about to wear off. Doesn't always line up, but I try not to override it because it's a big deal. Now I send it back. My haste is at 30, essentially, right? So I think it's one of the only things you can really min-max is BM single target, is keep Frenzy up. You can't really line up any of your other cooldowns. You kind of just send them, at least I do. But you'll see that my haste is now 50. Where's that coming from? 59. It's pretty high. That is Power Infusion. So we're at our probably 2-minute mark or something like that. That's Power Infusion and Dire Beast, or I think it's Dire Beast is the haste buff. And it's somewhat good to know when that's happening. There's a lot happening on Mythic Terros. I'm jumping all over the place here. Not really talking about the mechanics overall. But mostly that I'm tracking Lust, or I'm tracking my haste quite a bit. And that's just something I wasn't doing before, and it's definitely helping and contributing on top of, getting PI 4 times. But also just knowing that I have PI, you can just kind of more freely send your Barb Shots because you're going to get them back much faster at 50% haste, which will give you some opportunities to reset kill command. And, if you're going for like, what I'm looking for is a Terros parse where it's 100k. I know that that's possible. I need to have like perfect gear and probably keep getting PI'd or something like that. But, if you're really, really trying to min-max your BM single target, here we have another Algothar box send. Tracking haste, I think, is a good idea. You could also track attack speed if you're going to run the Windswept Pages. I run that for Mythic Plus. So your attack speed is going to get buffed from that, plus the bow. But that one's really passive, and it doesn't really mean you can just start sending your Barb Shot like crazy. Like getting, PI'd, you're basically have like a half a lust going. You could definitely start to send them a little bit faster and just get a little bit of damage there. You see I'm turning green. That's me taking extra damage. So our healers do pay for my extra little bit of crit here, but the crit just means, I guess more damage, but also just getting more resets. So that Phial of Corrupting Rage plus the bow means that, like, I shouldn't ever drop stacks, or it should be easy to get them back if I do. I think I do drop them a couple times here. But so these are just some new little things I'm doing here, as I think it only really makes sense like in Mythic when you're like progressing. Like I get once you're in farm, like you probably don't necessarily do the Cauldron. That's kind of expensive for the guild. But we're still progressing on Senarth now. I think damage wise we're all set. There's just a lot of like weird sliding around mechanics and getting the gates right. It's just kind of weird. But another really big single target fight. So, having BM Hunters, you can see, the two top damage dealers right now in this raid. And BM Hunters are like exceptionally good at these two fights. So, I've been trying to just like figure out how can I possibly get the most damage out of it. So Cauldron helps a lot. Corrupting Rage, I don't think I die. I don't die too much in this fight. So I feel okay using the Corrupting Rage Phial and just really tracking haste. And if, you're so lucky to get PI this many times on it, to at least know you're getting it. So you just start really sending like as absolutely fast as you can. You're not trying to hold and perfectly keep your stacks. This definitely is not a breakdown on the mechanics of Mythic Terros. That's, I feel like that's out there, but more specifically on BM Hunter. And as this fight's wrapping up, if you haven't noticed already, BM Hunters, again, like we're basically melee. We'd never cast anything except for Algothar Box at this point, or Grief Torch. So we are playing like we're melee. So if you're an MM Hunter, you might be not doing this like melee. Like I'm just melee in the front here. And we get to clear our stacks really early, which is the Mythic mechanic. And it's a lot easier. Being range is super hard on this fight compared to being melee. So BM Hunter, just all these mechanics, not a huge problem. It does start to get hairy here. You do have to like kind of understand like where to stand at the right time. I'm clearing my mechanic. I do use the weak ore that tells me when it's cleared. That's really helpful. And this is coming down to the wire. This fight pretty much always looks like this. It's pretty epic. We are about to die, basically. And we have 10 seconds after this last annihilation goes. We're just taking damage, and we kill it pretty quick. But sometimes you're sitting in that pool for 10 seconds or however long you can live to get the last amount of damage out. So pretty awesome. It's taken me this long in the season to get a single target like this. Again, I think Hunters at full max do 110 or something insane like that single target. I'm not sure I'm going to ever get the Mythic Bow and the Mythic, all the trinkets and stuff like that, but pretty cool to see BM Hunter do so well. I kind of knew from the beginning of the expansion that they're probably not going to make the last boss legendary weapon for a class they're going to undertune. If anything, I think we all know that BM Hunter is about to get really changed with the bow nerf and then changes to that too. But it's been fun to do this much single target in the raid. I like it a lot. The spider's much harder than this fight, but those are the things going into this. For BM Hunters, anyone interested in trying to get max single target, this is at least how I've been doing it. I'll check you later.